Shadim Shari, or the reverse today. We can have fiery inferno instead of green paradise. For those that don't know what Shadim Shari mean, go watch Dune 2. But that's what it means, green paradise. But uh, after yesterday and the next couple of days or weeks, we can have fiery inferno instead. Um, as you can see in the headline of this video, it's a special edition. I'm not going to run through a bunch of tickers, but I want to talk about the S&P 500 1990 and 1992. It's going to be an extra long uh, video, so be warned. Um, for those that don't know, I'm 57 years old. I graduated college July of 1989. July, yes. Not the typical May, July, because I was 3 credits short and I had to take an elective class for 3 credits in the summer of 1989 to graduate. So I hit the job market in the fall, late summer, fall of 1989, and I can tell you the job market was terrible. I moved to Boston. I looked for a job in Boston. It was brutal. Um, it doesn't matter where I went to college. It doesn't matter if my GPA wasn't good. It was bad. Okay. I mean, when I see the young people today that complain on social media that there's no job, it's terrible, I can relate because um, at that point, I was a math major. I graduated with a math degree, kind of useless. Like 90% of college students, okay? I think if anyone is honest with what they went to college for, I think 90% will tell you that their degree was not what, get them a job that they got later. But regardless, I was in Boston, and just to tell you how bad the job market was, one of the job I applied for was for a receptionist job. I walked to the interview, and there was literally 8 women in their 20s, good looking, young, sitting in the waiting room for the interview. The interview was like 15 minutes, but I'm just like, what am I doing here? This is a waste of my time because there is no chance that the man that's interviewing me for this reception job is hiring me over 8 good looking, younger women in the waiting room. It was insane. Yes, that's how bad it was. Okay, so when I hear the complaint today on social media of young people complaining that there's no job, I'm just like, does anyone remember what 1990 was like? 1989 was like for a college grad back then. Somehow, the older generation, my age, is not teaching anyone anything. That's the problem with the younger generation. We didn't have social media back there, back then. Okay, so it's just silly to just think that, oh, to hear a young college grad today, oh, my parents was able to buy a house. It's so unfair, huh? What? How many 23 years old person in 1989 can buy a house? What insanity world are we living in to even complain that, oh, my parent when I was in college, when they graduate in college no, it's not the reality. It's not the reality that I live in. Okay, so yeah, that's how this video started. So here we go with a lot of ranting. Oh my God, it's so out of touch. Parents, teach your kids some common sense because they are living in the world of nonsense. Okay, social media has proliferated nonsense. All right, so back to my story. 1989, late 1989, job market was bad. This is the S&P 500 in front of you. Okay, in front of you. I purposely put it from beginning of 1990 to the end of 1992 for the specific election cycle. For those that don't know, November of 1992 was the election that put Bill Clinton in the White House. Okay, job market was bad. Can anyone guess what this white yellow line is? That's July 12th of 1990. The Fed fund rate at the time was 8%. Yes, 8% compared to 5.25% today. It was 8%. The Fed cut rate. The beginning of the rate cutting cycle of that bad economy. Right here. Do you see what happened to the S&P 500 in the next 3 months? It went from 370-ish, okay, to 294. There's your 20% correction. There's your 20% correction. Okay, there's your crash. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. My job, eventually, that I got in November of 1989, was in customer service. I worked for an insurance company, and I was a customer service for a health insurance for a life insurance company that deal with lapse policy. So basically, if you forgot to pay or you didn't pay because time was bad, your life insurance policy expire, lapse. I was working as a customer service, answering the phone for the lapse department. So needless to say, every phone call was people upset that they get the notice that their life policy that they had for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years expire or lapse on them, and they're angry. And my job is to tell them, well, you owe us X dollar. To put your policy back into good standing, you need to pay us X dollar or premium plus a penalty, and I had to calculate it manually. Yes, this is the days before computers. I had to sit there with a calculator and calculate manually the penalty that they owe, and then do the paperwork so that they, so I sent out the paperwork, and then they get the bill, and then if they sent the money in, then we put their policy back into good standing. But that was my job. It has nothing to do with math degree in college. I work with a bunch of people, a bunch of women, and many of them didn't have a college degree. They've been there for 5 years, 10 years. Okay. Oh my God, time was really bad. College degree worthless. Oh wow, all that social media right now. Oh, college degree is worthless. It was worthless to me back then. Where was social media for me to rent? All right, so is it a wonder that the stock market, have a pretty bad reaction yesterday? Whenever the Fed starts to cut rate, it's not because he's just generous. He's not. Okay, it's signaling power. Is, like I said, if power was measured in his answer in his press conference on Wednesday, But the fact that he said that cutting rate in September is on the table. He repeat this in many different ways, but it was pretty certain, and the market baked in the certainty that he is going to cut rate in September. The odds have jumped from 50% to 80% or 95%, whatever it is. I don't care. But this is the start of the Fed cutting rate in July of 1990, and the S&P 500 dropped 20% 3 months later. All right, so I don't care what other comparison people want to make about anything else. That's what happened. Uh, I have a bunch of data in front of me, okay? But I will tell you the unemployment rate was around 6% at this time. Do you know where the unemployment rate go for the next 2 years on this chart? 6%. Can anyone guess? Needless to say, the Fed cut rate, Greenspan, for those that know me, I have said that there is no good Fed. Greenspan got way too much credit. Bernanke got too much of the blame, but he's also worthless, and Yellen is completely worthless as well. They're all worthless, but Greenspan is worthless too. For some reason, people love him, but Greenspan cut rate all the way through. That's how bad things were, because rate was 8%. Okay, I'm not saying rate shouldn't have been 8%. The bottom line was he cut rate really, really, really slow. It doesn't matter. The market rip and roar. If you sell 3 months into this bloodbath 3 months later and didn't get back in, you're screwed. You missed out. And then you look back and say, oh my God, what did I do? Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so the good news is things can get really bad going into October. But if you can hold on to the pain, whatever you hold will likely come out okay 6 months from now. Okay, so chill. Panic is not a winning formula. Okay, but use history as your guide. Well, get back to what I said. Unemployment went from 6% to, by the end of 1992, something like 7.4%. So as usual, the Fed can cut rate all he wants, and it's not going to help. Rate went from the Fed fund rate went from 8% to 3%, 8 to 3. He cut 5 percentage point from 8 to 3 by September, right here, by September of 1992. Yeah. So as you can see, the market did pretty good. There's a big crash, and then market did pretty good. Now, the economy was in turmoil. Okay, I can tell you, from I left work, the corporate world, in 1991, the end of 1991, to go to MBA school. And I can tell you, it was, I remember that election cycle very, very well. Okay, it was ugly. It was ugly. Bush was so out of touch. There was a town hall where President Bush answered a question from a college student, and the college student was saying, "Do you know how tough it is right now for us?" And he was so out of touch. He was just like, "Oh, blah 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 blah." Yeah. Whatever his answer was, it was so out of touch, as if like um, he think everything is fine. Okay. Oh, it was just hideous. Okay, so just to show you, I just want to show you what happened when the Fed started to cut rate. Okay, so the market is smelling a similar bloodbath coming in October if he's cutting rate in um, September, and it could be a bloodbath in October, and um, it is what it is. Okay, so let's take a look at the election year. So let's change this into just 1992. Just 1992. Okay, 1992. 1992. December. Good enough. Okay, this is what happened in 1992. August. This is the end of July, right here. July 31st, right there. And August 31st, the market went down. The S&P 500 went down in August of 1992, right? And as you can see, in most market, in every year, October is ugly. Okay, ugly. So be warned. We can have the exact scenario that you see here. Does not mean that it's a straight down from August into, see, that there's a bounce. Sell into the bounce into, between now and sometime in September. If there is a bounce, most likely there is. Sell into the bounce, get into the right sector that do better in a recession area time, and be ready for the bloodbath in October. All right, because it will happen. Don't forget what happened last October. There was a bloodbath. There will be a bloodbath this October in different sectors. Oh, people. I just there's so many participants in the stock market, and so many people just love to ignore history. I don't know why, but I have been in this market for a long time, and it seems to me that this you know why? Because there's always younger people, newer people, younger people entering into the stock market every year, and it's just the nature of human, right? We kind of ignore the older people, especially now with social media. It's all the younger people that are more social media savvy. They on Twitter, they on X, they on Instagram, they on Facebook, they on YouTube. They have fancy channel, fancy video, hundreds of thousands of followers, and they have all the data. They have all the data that I don't have, and yet they ignore the data I'm showing you. We are fine. The market is fine. We're not going to the bear market. We're not going to recession. There's no recession. There's nothing here to say. We are fine. We still got 2 years left in this bull market cycle. I don't think so. But as you saw the chart that I showed you, the SPY, the 3-year one, okay? I'm not saying that there's 2 years left. I don't care how many years left. I just know that the let's go back. Let's go back to the okay. Let's go back to before I go. I'm almost done. Okay, so bear with me. I just care about this. Okay, yes, look at this. This is nice. This is not nice. Okay, so be warned. Be warned. We can have a 20% down move soon. Okay, so be warned. Okay, the Fed, I'm sure the Fed's Greenspan signaled that he's cutting rates sometime here. He cut rate here. So between now and September 18th is the next FOMC meeting. That's when the Fed can say, oh, we're going to cut rate. Here it is. Everything is fine. We're just being generous. Jobs still strong. Consumer still resilient. Job market, nothing wrong. Before I go, it's infuriating to me that Powell stood on the podium on Wednesday and said that the job market is back to where it was on the eve of the pandemic. For those that listen or watch that conference, hopefully you heard that. He said that almost to the exact word. I'm not even paraphrasing. He said, to the eve of the pandemic. Last I checked, unemployment rate was 3.4% back then. It's 4.1% today. So what is he talking about? What kind of nonsense? Oh, the job market is okay. We are back to the eve of the pandemic. What are you talking about? I'm shocked that he doesn't get called out for that kind of nonsense. It's for all the question that he got. For those that follow the live reaction, I caught that right away. I posted in the private chat group that I had. That's a complete lie. Uh, I would have, if I was in the room to ask a question, I'm just like, what are you talking about? Explain yourself. Delusional nonsense. It's just spew out nonsense. It's just out of touch. At best, he's out of touch, or just outright lying. It's just nonsense. It's just anyhow. I hope you enjoyed the 40 minutes video. It's a special one, just to show you that sure, we can have a 20% correction sometime between now and October, but after that, it could be a rip-roaring bull market. Yeah, I just said that. Rip-roaring bull market after October. So it is what it is, okay? It's never... I will close on this comment, on this commentary. For those that know me for the past few years, I am usually very neutral on the market because I understand over long term, by long term, I mean over a year and beyond, the direction of the market is up higher. Okay? Up higher. So if you have a long term horizon beyond a year, there's nothing to panic about. But if you're a trader, there are opportunities to be made, and that's what I am. I'm a trader, so I try to position myself to maximize my return and minimize my risk. That's all. I'm not bearish short term. I am bearish on certain sector, but as far as our entire market, sure, can we have a 20% down? Sure, but in 6 months, 9 months, we can be back to normal. Okay, so whatever is down big in the next 3 months, most likely will rebound in 6 months. Okay, so just cool heads will prevail. Panic is not an equation for winning in the investment long term or short term. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my rant. Have a good day today. It's going to be a big econ day. It's going to be a wild day today. Okay, I always expect Friday to be wild. Sometimes it doesn't play out that way, but Friday you get options. You have today you have the normal option expiration that drive the market wild sometime. On top of that, you got big econ data, unemployment rate. Okay, big. And then you have, of course, all the bad earnings yesterday. So it's a lot of confluences of things that will make the market go wild today. So